All right, welcome back, pure structure traders, for another market analysis for the London session and potentially into the US session. Today is April 14, 2021 here in Hawaii, and will be April 15, 2021 in London. Today we'll be going over S&P 500 and also gold, give you guys some levels that we'll be looking for in the London session, and again, potentially those levels could hold up into the US session. Again, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. If you guys do enjoy these videos, please go ahead and smash that like button. If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in here on YouTube and we will get back to you guys. Again, we love to answer your guys' questions. Again, we are trying to help as much as possible to lead you guys into consistent trading. If you guys are interested in learning, feel free to pop into the Pure Structure website and sign up with us and become a member. Again, you definitely will enjoy it, and you will have us to answer the questions if you guys are struggling at any point. But with that said, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. For S&P 500, we did have a range movement throughout the London session, and within the US session we came to a nice level of support that we kind of spotted out that pushed us up. So it was a very good trade off the rip. From the open off the US session right here at these 29 to 30s, nice bounce and continuation up into our resistance, and then through that level came up to around 41 to 42, struggled a little bit here, and then popped up into our 44s, and from there we saw some movement back down. It's this move right here, very nice move, kind of very easy to spot out actually, but for those who struggled, this was a very nice move, gave you a nice head and shoulders, failed to go up higher, and then brought itself right back down. So for S&P 500, what are we going to be looking for during the London session and maybe even moving into the US session? So for us, you can see there is a nice prior support that may turn into resistance. You can see we actually touched that level here a couple times. You can see we came right underneath this support, coming right back up to this area. We want to see it fail and then try to retest the bottom here right about 15. If we can get to these 15s and get through it, we're going to look for the market to come right back into these 4105 to 4106s as support. But we do want to see it fail. Now, what it could happen here is you see this little range that we had for the US session and the overnight session. We could actually see the buyers try to pop it right into this level, but this is where it's going to get a little bit more difficult. If price gets into this range and then comes back and starts to respect this level, you may see these buyers try to test the upside of resistance again and continue to push this back up. I like the short if we can continue to stay underneath these 29 to 30s. This will be a great short opportunity and one that could continue to bring us down to 15, 05, 06, and maybe even a little bit lower. We could at the same time go right back into another range. We've had a couple range days here, so we could go right back into another range during the London session. So we do want to be careful. Again, with ranges, we are going to sell high and we're going to look to buy low at the bottom of these supports. So want to see if S&P can fail this level of resistance and then bring it right back down to support. High probability of that actually happening, so we'll look out for that. If we do get the support to fail to break this area, we could look for the long here. Now, if price gets underneath this, couple things we could do. We could look for it to break underneath and not give us as much conviction, come back up, find the support, and then push a nice inverse head and shoulders. If price breaks down below and then starts to use these 15s as resistance, there's always that opportunity to sell it underneath this level to bring it down into these 4105s to 4106s. Again, those are going to be our couple opportunities if you want to trade with momentum. You're going to want to look out for that. Again, keep in mind this could break down but come right back up almost immediately. Still strongly bullish in the long term of things, so you want to keep that in mind. But we may actually start to see some bearish momentum pulling down to our next levels of support. If we can't get past 4105 to 4106, that again is a strong level of support, so we may see a couple buyers come right in here as we start to see these sellers bring it down. And once we see them fail to get through this level, we could see the market try to pull back up here and then retest 15 and then try to get up higher from there right around these 26 to 29s again. So we'll see what happens on S&P. Let's take a look at a smaller chart here on S&P 500, give you guys a closer look at what's going on there. So with S&P, you can see we're struggling a little bit. We did pop up into that level of resistance right around 26, 27, came back down. So we'll see. It may struggle right in this little micro area here and then try to pull down deeper, or it may pop right back up and then try to test our resistance and then try from there. So a couple ideas for trading. You could try to use this micro level. If you're not good with micro levels, stay away from that. Don't put your money on the line to try to risk that type of trade. Again, you want to take your highest probability trades. That means something you're confident in, something you see happen over and over again, right? That way you don't get yourself stuck in the emotions of, I lost the trade. You want to continue to try to take each trade with consistency. So if this is not something you're familiar with here with the micro level, then look for this thing to gradually pull back into a major level of resistance and then try to short it from there if that's what you want to do. Major supports come underneath, so you could see, look how we broke down. Nice angled double bottom here for a continued move back to the upside. Again, start to break down, you get nice 1, 2, 3 touches and moves right back to the upside. So you want to keep that in mind. We're trying to press that upside, but it looks like sellers may end up taking it over 1, 2, and 3 touches, trying to bring it down a little bit lower. Let's see if these sellers can take it from here, or if these buyers prop it back up here and then try to take it higher, but can't, fail to do that, and then the sellers will come and step in. Now, if price can get through this level of 29, 29 to 30, we are going to see it try to test this middle of the range here. So you want to pay attention to that. We may end up coming right back into this area here. So keep that in mind. If we break through those levels 29 to 30, look out for those 33 to 34s as a target level to try to bring it back into that. Right? Again, ranges act like magnets, so it may be a magnet to try to pull price back. But I do think we may get a pull down before we get a push up. So we'll keep that in mind. Let's take a look at gold, give you guys some ideas of what we're going to look at for the London session as well. Gold has a similar look on the chart where we did go bullish for quite a bit of time. Again, we're still holding above some significant levels. For the US session, we were underneath this. I did put, we actually know, well, when we came into the US session, we were pulling underneath this. For the London session, we went into a nice range. But for the US session, we started to drop back down. Did have a couple long opportunities, but couldn't break these 38 to 39s. And then price attempted to try to pull to our next level. Didn't necessarily get there before it made a nice V bottom to pull back up, right? So that was a good opportunity for those who understood it, but that wasn't a trade that I ended up taking off this V bottom. I was long off the nice bounces off this support, but not off this V bottom here. It didn't come to my level, so I didn't take that trade. But when it came back to resistance, we had this resistance marked here, which is a great opportunity for a continued short. Now for gold, you can see what potentially could happen. If we stay underneath these 41 to 42s, as you can see we highlighted with the red zone, we may end up seeing a nice range movement here, right? And you got these target levels that you might want to hit. Now if price comes back up and you're looking for that long, you're going to probably try to do it right here at support at 34 to 35. And then try to move it back into these 41 to 42s and then push up higher, maybe to 43 to 44, right back in the middle, again, the middle of that range as it becomes that magnet. Now, for those who want to short it, you may want to look for this resistance to happen, nice double top failure, maybe a nice angled double top and pull down and come back down. If these sellers can hold this resistance here, then you're going to see the sellers try to bring it down to 34, then 31, and then maybe even potentially even lower to a target level of 23 to 24. Now we got to keep this in mind. We've been targeting these levels since last week, right? So these buyers may be getting a little bit weak and price may try to pull down back down into that key level of 23. And we already tried that once this week. We came back down to this level and we couldn't break it, and this was a very nice move back to the upside from the London session into the US session. Now again, this may potentially happen. We could get a lot of buying coming in if we get back up into these 48s and get through that level back into those 55 to 60s. That's going to be our target levels on the upside. But we are below structure right now, right? Below that support, acting as resistance. So our best opportunities are to look for the failures and then short that back into the support and get that lower past these 31s into the support of maybe right around 23, right? If you don't understand to short it, then you could look for these supports happening here at major levels, 23, 16, maybe even 31. If the support comes here and fails to go through it, you could look for the bounce off that level or a retest here and then continuation. So there's a lot of different types of trading opportunities you could put together. For me, I'm still going to look for the shorts underneath these 41 to 42s to try to bring it back down into 31 and then maybe even lower. If we can't get past 34 again, we may get an opportunity to try to take this back up. So we'll keep that in mind. For me, still bullish though, but it seems like we're getting a little bit weak going into sideways ranges and still trying to pull down from there. So we're going to keep that in mind as we look out for some trades that we may potentially go into that range and then fall lower. Let's take a look at a smaller chart here on gold, give you guys a closer view of what's going on here on the charts as well. So let's go ahead and pull this together here. So again, with gold, you can see on a closer view, again, still a nice range of motion going on with this price action. We again are looking out for this price action to get back here. Now we may get, what gold likes to do is pop a little bit higher and then come back underneath and try it. If it fails it after the pop, look for that short to come back down. There are similar scenarios that take place here. You can see that pop higher above our resistance, fail to get higher, and then a pull down and another pull down to try to get into that support, and we continue to try to touch that. So that's something that we are familiar with, right? And we're looking out for on gold as well that potentially could happen. So patiently waiting for the market to get back up into this level and then look to see if we fail it to short it. Support again, 34, 31, and then try to get it back in to those 23s and below that. So we'll see if we can get those opportunities on S&P 500 and also gold. If you guys do like these videos, please go ahead and smash that like button. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe. If you guys are, thank you very much for watching, liking, and subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate that. If you guys have any questions, again guys, feel free to pop them in here on YouTube. If these videos are very helpful, go ahead and put a comment for us. Let us know. Again, we are always willing to answer the questions. We're always willing to help you guys out. If you guys are interested in learning how to find consistency in these markets and how to trade successfully, feel free to pop into the Pure Structure Trading website and link up with us, and we will get back to you guys. Other than that, guys, you guys take care. Have a great night. For those who are part of Pure Structure Trading, I will see you guys in the London session room tonight. Again, take care. Have a great night. Trade well.